Well, coming back at you live from Jackie Robinson Ballpark here in what's turned into a nice day here in Daytona Beach. We bring you game 2 of today's doubleheader between the Northwestern Wildcats and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats, with BCU looking to steal a game here after dropping the first 2 in the series, 11-6 and 10-5. Thank you all for joining us once again. We appreciate everybody standing in as we waited out a little bit of weather here, but things have cleared up very nicely. The sun is out, the clouds have gone away, but we will stick to radio just in case the coverage, the cloud cover comes back. Don't want to risk anything with our equipment and setup wise, and we'll make it work from back here in the Turtle's Nest. My name is Bryce Wojnowski, joining you once again with Henson White. For those of you who are frequent viewers of our basketball broadcasts, I'm sure you've caught him on a handful of games this season. We are bringing you another game here at the Jack. It's been a long day, but Wildcats are hoping that they wrap it up with a win.
Yeah, they had a decent performance first game of this doubleheader. A rain check really messed up their chances, a home run in that penultimate fourth inning, a tough comeback in that ninth inning, and then not a great bullpen performance in that 10th inning that really, messed them up. And now they're going to look to put all that behind them, and it's a new game, new day, basically. So that's how they got to look at it.
Absolutely. That should be the approach for the Wildcats as Daniel Gaviria gets things started. He will face the man who has led off for every game this weekend in Vince Bianchina for Northwestern. And immediately he smacks this one out into the gap in right center field, but it is caught on the run from Sergio Rivera, and there is one away for the Northwestern lineup in game 3. Bianchina, of course, leads off. Trent Leolis will take the second spot. Owen McElfatrick third. Bennett Markinson in the 4 spot. Jackson Freeman, he'll bat 5th. Griffin Mills 6th. Tony Livermore 7th. Joshua Ramos 8th. And Griffin Arnone, who's been a thorn in their side all weekend, as that one is lined into the glove of Peter Vasquez at second. And just like that, there's 2 quick outs for Daniel Gaviria.
Yep, 2 glove gems back-to-back there. Very good defensive positioning for both of those outs. And now, very quick, same thing we saw in that first game, very quick starting pitching.
First pitch to McElfatrick is a ball for Gaviria. He is 1-0 on the season, 2.45 ERA in 2 starts. He's worked 11 innings as that one is swung on and missed. 4 strike 2. He has allowed 11 hits, 6 runs, 3 earned. He's walked 2 to 7 strikeouts. Is the SWAC preseason pitcher of the year. Fires in a ball, 1-2 for the Wildcats defensively in the series finale. It is Ramses Cordova, Jamie Villafane at third and short respectively, and we'll have to get you that next time as the inning is already over. Owen McElfatrick swings through a fastball, and we will head to the bottom of the first. Wildcats up to bat. Appreciate you sticking with us here on the CatEye Network. Kyle Potoff is the starter today for Northwestern in the final game of the 3-game series. As he warms up here, the Senior has appeared in 3 games so far with 1 start. In 7 innings, has allowed 3 runs, 1 earned on 4 hits with 2 walks to 2 strikeouts. He will face Daniel Figueroa as we get set to lead off here momentarily. The BCU lineup looks like this. Daniel Figueroa leads off. Garrett Chun batting in the 2nd spot once again, followed by Sergio Rivera. George Rodriguez is batting cleanup. We have Jose Gonzalez at the DH spot. He bats 5th. Manny Sufrain 6th. Peter Vasquez 7th. Ramses Cordova 8th. Jamie Villafañe will once again bat out of the 9 spot. As Figueroa digs in, getting set to lead off the first for BCU. He will take the first pitch outside for a ball. As for the Northwestern defense, Bianchino once again at 3rd, Livermore at shortstop, McElfatrick at 2nd, and Leolis at 1st. That has not changed since the first game, or really all weekend, as there's a strike to even up the count 1-1 to Figueroa. From left to right in the outfield, it will be Griffin Mills making his first start of the weekend in left. Another strike there to Figueroa, 1-2 now. Griffin Arnone once again in center field, and it will be Jackson Freeman in right. And then we have behind the plate for Northwestern is Bennett Markinson once again. As that one misses, even up the count at 2-2.
Northwestern now wearing their purple unis that they're more known for.
Swing and a miss, and Figueroa goes down on strikes to open this one up for Northwestern. Like you said, Henson, the Wildcats of Northwestern sporting the bright purple with the white trim, white pants with black trim, the purple caps. Bethune-Cookman once again donning the baby blue with maroon trim, maroon numbers, and a white outline with the maroon caps. So no change for them for the last game. Garrett Chun barrels this one up, and it will be into left field. Picking up right where he left off in the previous game. He was 2 for 5 with an RBI in game 1 today, and he starts this one off 1 for 1.
Overall, a 500 day to start out, so very good hitting day for him.
Hitting .341 on the season coming into today, but that will bring us to Sergio Rivera. Rivera 1 for 5. Did have a strikeout in game 1 today. He takes the first pitch into dirt, throw over, trying to get Chun sleeping, but he will dive back into first. If you're just tuning in, if you missed game 1, we are over in the Turtle's Nest out in right field due to some rain. We were originally positioned underneath the press box behind home plate, but rain has chased us back here as this one is another one barreled up very well. This one to right field. Garrett Chun will dig into second. Rivera is into first, and 2 are on with 1 away for the Wildcats in the first. Clearly showing no signs of letting up from their offensive performance in the early innings in the last game.
Yep. But they'll try to make the most out of these opportunities. One thing they really could do in the first game, they did get a lot of runners on base, but could not score them.
Come back to haunt the Wildcats, who had a chance as this one is lined right into the glove of the first baseman, Leolis, and he tags the bag for a double play. And any and all momentum the Wildcats found offensively in the first is sapped away at the glove of Leolis. A tough luck play for BCU, not a whole lot you can do about that. Daniel Gaviria will head back out to the mound as we head to the second. You're watching Bethune-Cookman Baseball on the CatEye Network. Daniel Gaviria is back on the mound for Bethune-Cookman as we get set to start the second inning here in what has and will continue to be a long day of baseball here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. If it's your first time tuning in, we are not traditionally an audio-only unit, but due to some weather and our ongoing battle with the infrastructure down here at a remodeled Jackie Robinson, as this ball is chopped to third, Ramses Cordova will fire over to first. Sufrain will gather, but he is pulled off the bag and cannot apply the tag. As Bennett Markinson leads things off with what will probably be ruled a hit. Actually, almost definitely. There's really no error to correct. Well, no, you actually, I take that back completely. That will 100% be an error because the throw was offline from Cordova, who could have made that. So they will get a leadoff base runner via the error as the next man up, Jackson Freeman, shows bunt but pulls it back for a ball. Northwestern going for some small ball to try to get some runs across early here.
Jackson Freeman coming into this game in 207.
As he barrels that one up out into left center field, Garrett Chun, he'll be called off by Sergio Rivera, who will make the play on the run. Very quickly played start to this game. Not a whole lot of pitches taken, not a long ABs. Moving quickly, both teams just happy to be playing ball again after the rainy start to today's festivities. And this one will be a strike to Griffin Mills, making his first start of the weekend. Thrower to first, but no worries for Bennett Markinson, who dives back in safely. But to finish my point from forever ago, we will traditionally have video, and hopefully once we get access to the press box again, we will have a full production for you. As there is a appeal to first, but no swing, says the first place official. But as we deal with remodeling here going on at the Jackie Robinson Ballpark, we are dealing with just trying to figure out technically how we can get everything to work. So we appreciate all the patience in these early weeks of play. Right now we're doing our best radio job out here in right field. It's a little tough for us to see, but we're bringing you BCU baseball nonetheless as Gaviria gets set to throw the 2-1, and it's thrown over to Ramses Cordova at third. It gets by his glove all the way down to the wall. Garrett Chun will gather and throw in. The runner will stop at third, and second and third for Northwestern. Bennett Markinson moves down to third. Griffin Mills, guy who struggled at the plate coming in, gives some much needed pop for Northwestern, who now threatens with one away and two on as Tony Livermore shows bunt. A nice one over to Sufrain, a little quick, but nobody is covering the bag at first as the run comes in to score. Daniel Gaviria was late because he thought he could potentially make the play himself on the mound. A little bit of frustration between Gaviria and Sufrain. And now there's runners on the corners with Northwestern now holding the 1-0 lead early.
A flip of what we saw from Bethune-Cookman where they started out hot in the first game. Now Northwestern taking advantage of what the Wildcats defense is giving them.
Joshua Ramos fouls one back. The freshman in the 8 spot getting his first action of the season. He will DH today for Northwestern. Throw over to first, but Livermore gets back in safely. Then the very dangerous Griffin Arnone is on deck, who has terrorized the Wildcats in both games this weekend. The 0-1 in there for a strike, 0-2. Gaviria, not a big strikeout guy. 7 this year through 11 innings. Primarily a guy that works to contact, particularly ground balls. He'll throw over once again as a lot of attention being paid over to the runner at first. Livermore, he is 2 for 2 on stolen base attempts this season. Not a big-time base-stealing threat, but trying to keep him accountable. He will go. Ball is in the dirt. Throw down to second. Villafañe's tag is late.
Yeah, and both teams have attempted a lot of steals this game and last game. Both teams like to play small ball, like to get their base runners moving. Hit and runs, have seen plenty of those as well.
And this ball is hit hard out into right field. A run will come in to score. And Joshua Ramos, in his first action of the season, fires up the Northwestern dugout. It's a 2-0 ball game. A little bit of a slow start for Bethune-Cookman as Gaviria and catcher George Rodriguez have a little bit of conversation. As Griffin Arnone heads to the plate, hitting .350. This season wasn't quite as dangerous in the last game, just 1 for 3, but did walk twice as there is yet another throw over to first. You start to wonder if the runner at first is affecting the mindset of Daniel Gaviria. Just been so quick to throw over, looks over again, but he will throw in. Arnone shows bunt, pops it straight up. And George Rodriguez makes the catch for the second out. Lucky break for BCU there.
After a couple lucky breaks for Northwestern, finally one goes the Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman way and ends up being a pop-up bunt.
But just like that, we turn things over to the top of the lineup. Vince Bianchina, who is 0 for 1. First pitch to him, swung on and missed on a ball in the dirt. Gaviria doesn't have a ton of swing and miss stuff, but when teams manage to start barreling him up like they have today, we've seen a lot of hard contact, and the Wildcats are already in a dangerous spot. Another check over at first. Runners on the corners here, 2 outs. Northwestern leads 2-0 in the second inning of play here. That ball is low, 1-1. Another swing and nope, not a miss. He got a piece of that one. That one is fouled back, 1-2 now.
Yeah. Part of the reason he might be checking over so much is because he's pitched a lot of his pitches low, so he might be worried about the base runner taking advantage of that and being able to steal second.
He'll deliver here. That one's high. That will bring the count to 2-2. On what has turned into a pretty pleasant night here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark as the sun starts to set over the left field bleachers. That one's in the dirt. Count runs full. Can't get too cute and try to go for the strikeout if you're Gaviria. You have to challenge pitchers. Gaviria doesn't have quite the stuff that some others in this Cats pitching staff does. A low 90s fastball. This one is hit out into center field, drifting into right center, but no worries there. Rivera is under it. He makes the play to retire the side. But that's not before Northwestern grabs a couple. They jump in front 2-0. Wildcats will have some work to do at the plate. They will come back in a moment. Appreciate everybody sticking with us here. You're watching, or rather listening, to BCU Baseball on the CatEye Network. We return to play here in the bottom of the second inning here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark as Jose Gonzalez is the batter. He takes the first pitch in the dirt for a ball. And he will swing through the second. Wildcats coming off a tough luck first inning that saw a ball lined right into the glove of the first baseman Liolis, who retreated to the bag for a double play as this one is fouled off 1-2. Gonzalez in game one, well, rather got the day off in game one, or the game off, I should say, as we reach a 2-2 count now after he takes a ball. Hits this one hard out into left field. That one will skip right down the line and to the wall. He will dig in for second. Throw comes in. It's stand-up double for Jose Gonzalez. The defending SWAC player of the week puts another run in scoring position for Bethune-Cookman. And Henson, we can't overestimate how important knocking in these runners is in these early innings.
It's extremely important, Bryce. It's just we haven't been able to do it in the first game consistently. We get base runners that hit. The offense is a problem. It's just timely hitting is something that we need more consistently.
As Manny Sufrain takes a strike, returning to the starting spot over at first base after Jorge Gonzalez-Febo was given that start in game one today. Give Manny Sufrain a breather. He hits this one hard but foul down the right field line and out of play. Talked to Coach Hernandez pregame. Manny Sufrain, a guy that started off very strong, hitting over 300, forced a lot of walks. Want to see if he can add some more pop to the bat. This one's high, 1-2. Looking for more of that gap power from Sufrain, but he's been one of the premier bats in this order, specifically from the left-hand side for the Wildcats to start this season. He'll look to try to get an RBI across here. Swing and a miss. He will not, as he goes down on strikes. Second strikeout of the game for Kyle Potoff. That'll bring up Peter Vasquez, second base, making his third straight start after working out of the pinch hitting role early in the season. Had a strong night in the first start of the year for him at Florida and has carried that momentum through as, again, we continue to deal with some fun bike noise behind us. This ball is hit hard on a line but foul into the Budweiser bullpen. Bike week here in Daytona rolls on. We've cried about it enough all week. I will continue to do so until my dying breath as a group of four more, make it five, pull right behind us. Behind Jackie Robinson, making plenty of noise. Peter Vasquez, another one fouled off. Oh no, this one will be in play. Apologies, out to center field. And it'll be the left fielder. That'll be Mills that will call everybody off and make the play. A long run for Mills there, but he had the best angle on the ball. And there are two away for the 8-hitter Ramses Cordova.
Need to get the base runner at least to do something. You know, he's been there at second base this whole time, really hasn't had much to do or to advance on. Now you have two outs. You have to try to get a single here, or obviously something.
First pitch strike from Kyle Potoff. Second one is lined up to the second baseman. Michael Fatrick will throw over to first and quickly retire the side. So the Wildcats strand one. Make it 2 so far in the game between the first 2 innings here. Not a recipe for a winning formula early for the Wildcats. But Daniel Gaviria will head back to the mound, hoping to keep Northwestern quiet. We'll be right back. You're listening, I'll get that right eventually, to Bethune-Cookman Baseball on the CatEye Network. Trent Loyolis, the first baseman, leads off the top of the third for Northwestern, fresh off a 2-run inning. In the second, he will take a ball to lead things off. Northwestern feeling themselves at the plate, carrying the momentum from game 1 into game 2. This one is hit hard to first base. A diving stop by Manny Soufrain. He fires over to Gaviria at first. It is just in time, and there is one away.
Just in time is an understatement. Barely gets that in there before the base runner gets there, but gets that out, gets a tough first out. That's exactly what this defense needed.
And a little bit of retribution for Gaviria, who's able to rush over and cover the bag after the misplay an inning ago. The first pitch to Owen McElfatrick is a strike. 2-run lead for Northwestern. It was a swing and a miss, makes it quickly an 0-2 count. McElfatrick 0 for 1 so far in this one, was 2 for 5 with a pair of RBI in the first game, with the long ball doing the work there. Another one fouled off, count will stay 0-2. But that was the crusher in game 1 today for Bethune-Cookman. Hits the long home run and the first pitch he saw from the first pitch in his outing for Kobe Lipovsky. As this one is popped high into shallow right center field. Figueroa is on, makes the play, and quickly 2 are away. Game continues to move at a lightning pace. Feels like a getaway day, even though just Saturday. Teams are playing like teams that want to go hang out a hotel for Northwestern. This one is popped foul to Bennett Markinson, who also 0 for 1 today. That one over in the concourse behind us out in right. Second pitch to him is fouled just in front of the Bethune-Cookman dugout. 0-2 count. Better control from Gaviria to start this inning. This one, a high fastball, is taken the other way, but it's foul. Another one of those hits similar to what we saw, I believe it was from Markinson in the first game today. Got a fastball high that he managed to get around, as this one is low. It's tough to get on top of those high fastballs enough to put that in play and not pop it up, but he's done a good job of that today. That one is low again. Count will reach 2-2 after a couple of foul balls to start the AB. The 2-2 is slapped over to second base, but Vasquez is there with the glove, makes the play, fires over to Soufrain, and that will retire the side. Well, a good bounce back inning from Daniel Gaviria gets the Northwestern Wildcats down quickly in order, and we will head to the bottom of the third. Bethune-Cookman still looking to put something on the board. We'll be right back. You're listening to BCU Baseball on the CatEye Network. Jamie Villafane will lead things off in the bottom half of the third, with Bethune-Cookman trailing Northwestern 2-0 here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark in the second game of a doubleheader. He swings through the first pitch of the inning. go down 0-1. It seems the bikers have reached the part of the night where they just want to go drive across the bridge behind us. And so we've seen plenty of them tonight. Shows bunt, but it is bunted foul back behind home plate.
Barely even got his bat on that. He had to basically dive at it, so really wasn't worth it in that situation, but looks to bounce back here.
No bunt here, big swing and a miss. He goes down on 3 straight strikes. Not the response the Wildcats were looking for there. Daniel Figueroa, the leadoff hitter, will return to the plate as we reach the top of the Wildcats order. Figueroa 0 for 1 with a strikeout. His first time up. First pitch to him in there for a strike right down the middle. And the sun is close to dipping below the left field line. The lights are on here at Jackie Robinson. That ball is in the dirt. A nice frame job by the catcher to make that close. Bennett Markinson. The 1-1 is hit down the line and fair ball down the left field line. Figueroa digs in for second as the ball continues to bounce around in left field. He is held up at second by Coach Hernandez, serving as the third base coach this year, and he'll be in there with an easy double.
Great piece of hitting there. Gets it down the third base line, out of reach of the third baseman, who did make an outstanding diving effort, just couldn't get his hand or his glove on it, and gets a stand-up double to basically lead off the inning, because though, 3 strikeout really doesn't start anybody off.
This ball is hit hard into left field. Running on it, cannot get to it, is Mills. I got a chance to hang out in the dugout for the Florida game in the midweek since we did not travel radio. I was there for media purposes, doing some photography, doing some other things, and got to see kind of what goes on with Coach Hernandez now at the third base coach position for the first time. It was traditionally hitting coach Jose Carballo, but now he has taken over that role, allowing Derek Cartaya to kind of be the commander-in-chief down there as Garrett Chun takes a ball to start out his AB. And it's just very interesting to watch the difference in cadence, the difference in approach that Cartaya has brought to really change things up for the BCU lineup. Takes another ball, does Chun. It's a wild pitch in the dirt, and Figueroa will hustle down to third base. So a runner on third with 1 away for Garrett Chun, who already has a hit today. He is 1 for 1, but everything's very well organized. Especially it's interesting when a new relief pitcher comes in to watch all the bats kind of huddle around Derek Cartaya and get the rundown, get the approach. He's very methodical, very on point with all of it. As that one's a ball to bring us to a 3-1 count now for Chun.
At the start of the season, they've done a really good job of listening. Just, timely hitting, but otherwise they execute that game plan to perfection.
As there's a ball to Chun, he will take a base to put runners on the corners for Sergio Rivera. But absolutely with Coach Cartaya, he's, head coach Hernandez has really lauded the approach overall that Cartaya has brought, just to, if nothing else, to kind of change the norm, shake things up a little bit. But there's certainly been a different approach at the plate, a much more patient approach from the Wildcats this year than we saw early last year. Plan has been pretty simple. Get to the bullpen as soon as possible and do your work there. First pitch to Rivera. Inside, but called a strike.
Yeah, working those long counts are important. They can get in the pitcher's head at certain points. It just is very intelligent baseball. It allows you to see more of the pitcher's arsenal. Is a very positive way to play.
Throw over to first, but Chun dives back in safely.
We've had runners at the corners all the time for Bethune-Cookman. It's just getting those runs across that's been the problem.
Yeah, 2 men left on base so far. Like we said, you cannot overestimate the importance of getting runs like this in. They do pile up later in the game as the runner Chun goes. This one is fouled off towards the Northwestern dugout. It will hit just in front of us here over at the Turtle's Nest in right field, out of play.
If I wasn't tethered to the broadcast booth, I would have ran and tried to catch that, but I'd end up breaking something.
I have no doubt you would have made a spectacular play.
Yep.
As Kyle Potoff throws over to first, checking in on Chun again after the steal attempt. He gets back in safely. Potoff has struck out 3 already, has walked a batter, allowed 4 hits. So kind of what we've seen from a lot of this pitching staff for Northwestern so far. It's very much been bend but don't break. And save for a 4 spot in the opening game, they did not break. As Chun goes, throw down to second is not in time and offline, and the throw is bobbled by McElfatrick, which allows the run to come in and score. That is Daniel Figueroa, and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats steal one back. It is 2-1.
Yep. Michael Patrick didn't have the out at second. Probably could have at least made the runner at third stay, but just couldn't collect the ball leading to that run. Now you have a runner at second with only 1 out.
The 1-2 to Sergio Rivera is fouled back. And Henson, that's the 3rd time this weekend that we have seen the steal attempt. That's the 2nd for BCU. There was 1 for Northwestern earlier today where the steal attempt is really just to set up the runner from third going home, and it's worked every time.
Yeah, it's very hard to stop because if you go for that, immediately go, oh, I'm going to throw it to the catcher.
As this one is fouled back.
Yep. Immediately throw it to the catcher, and then you just give the base up for free. And what if they weren't going for that whole time, and now you're just giving them a free base? It's a very hard situation to win.
And I think it's a communication thing that probably grows throughout the season for any team, where at a certain point with just 1 out, you kind of have to consider letting that one go, or consider your approach maybe fooling guys. As that one, Northwestern wanted the call, but that will be a ball. Count will run to 3-2 on Sergio Rivera, with Bethune-Cookman now within a run. 2-1, runner on second, 1 away. Pitch to him, swung on, bounced over to shortstop. It'll go to first, and that will be the 2nd out of the inning, but not before Garrett Chun trots his way over to first. Nice job there by Livermore to gather and throw over on a big hop, one of those hops you only really see at a turf field like Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, Chun was right there. You know, if you give him an extra second, he probably gets there and beats that throw out. So good job defensively, but now you have that runner at third.
That'll bring up George Rodriguez, 0 for 1 today. He hits this one to the same spot over in short on the ground. It is thrown over to first, and that will retire the side. So the Wildcats grab 1, but that's all. It is a 2-1 ball game now, as Daniel Gaviria makes his trot back out to the mound. Appreciate everybody hanging with us here on a audio-only call of Bethune-Cookman versus Northwestern. We'll be right back. You're listening to BCU Baseball on the CatEye Network. Leading things off for Northwestern here in the top of the 4th inning, Jackson Freeman, freshman right fielder, one of 3 freshmen in the lineup for Northwestern today. First pitch to him is outside for ball 1. And he'll take another pitch, this one at the knees, to jump ahead 2-0 against Daniel Gaviria. He will throw pitch number 40 next. He's got a strikeout, hasn't walked anybody. This one is barreled up into right field. That will go all the way to the wall down the line. Digging for second is Freeman. He will take it easily, as Northwestern once again putting a leadoff runner, this time in scoring position. And in a 2-1 game, it's a scary sight to put Northwestern in distance of taking that run that they let up in the bottom of the 3rd right back. And some hard contact off Gaviria as Griffin Mills stands in the box now. The righty takes the ball high for ball 1. Gaviria winds and deals on the 1-0, swung through 1-1. Healthy lead there for Jackson Freeman over at second, but he will stay put. Pitch hit over to short. Villafane gathers, gets the lead runner, throws over to third, waiting on the call. Henson, I'm not sure I saw the third base official make a call, but he has not been sent out to the dugout, so it looks as though he is safe.
Looks like he called time for a possible injured Wildcat, but he didn't say out there.
And so he will be awarded the base, Jackson Freeman, as Villafane tried to get the lead runner, but no force at the bag, so Ramses Cordova was unable to apply the tag, and just like that, runners at the corners with nobody out. Now for Tony Livermore, who is 1 for 1 with an RBI today, driving in the first run for Northwestern. Gaviria's first pitch to him is a breaking ball low. Ball 1.
Can't afford a wild pitch here. It would really, really mess up the Wildcats' chances of really getting back into this one.
So tough with how big that backstop is at this ballpark. A wild pitch can spell disaster. This one is a fastball right down the middle. It is hit high into left field. Chun racing on. He is there. The run will come in to score. Thought that ball might leak foul, but the run will come across as Jackson Freeman makes it a 3-1 ball game. Northwestern takes the run right back.
Yep, that was on the edge of foul territory. Chun might have been able to let it go out and try to get a ground ball, but you know, you can't play hypotheticals like that.
Surprised Griffin Mills stayed put at first, especially when Chun threw to the third baseman Cordova. But nonetheless, Joshua Ramos takes a ball to open up his second plate appearance of the night. Another guy 1 for 1 with an RBI. He takes that one for a strike, 1-1. The bottom of this Northwestern order, as yet another group of bikers is right behind us and much louder now that we're out here more exposed, as this ball is hit high into left field, but very foul. From our angle, it looks like the Northwestern dugout thought maybe that one was going to approach the foul pole for a home run, but no such luck.
Wasn't quite close enough. Good contact on it, barreled it up really well. Just
1-2 is taken for a ball high. Thought we might see Rodriguez attempt to throw over at first to try to catch the runner Mills sleeping, but he will hold on to it as Mills gets back in. Gaviria, the 2-2 now as the runner goes. That one is a strike. The tag is applied, but Mills is safe.
had too much of a lead, went off of the pitch, perfectly timed it up.
Excuse me, that one was a ball. It was a bit low, so that will be a full count on Ramos. With yet another runner in scoring position, he hits this one on a hop over to third base. Cordova gathers, but it is foul.
Another great attempt at a defensive play there, just was foul.
Always tough to make those snags off the hop here, the Jack, especially one like that. Full count now. This one is hit out into left. High and deep, but over the clubhouse. Count will remain full. To Joshua Ramos. And this one is taken in the dirt for ball 4. Runners on first and second now with just one away.
He's had some trouble, Daniel, to start this game out, just getting the location down.
When the fastball's not there, he doesn't have the velocity or the stuff. Guy that relies on control. Balls lower in the zone, trying to get ground balls for outs as he throws a first pitch to the 9-hitter, Griffin Arnone. Another one in the dirt. The breaking ball has been breaking a bit low so far as the sun is completely set beyond the bleachers and things start to get darker here under the lights. Gaviria deals. It is inside. Ball 2, just not finding his location is Gaviria. And Arnone with the double, the triple earlier in this weekend. He will take a strike. Clearly looking to be gifted the walk to load the bases, but Gaviria fires one in there to get back within 2-1 now. This one is hit hard down the line and fair ball into right field as the run will come in to score. Arnone already at second base as another run will come in. That is Ramos. He will score. And 2 more runs for Northwestern, who have really started to swing the bat well in the latter half of this series. Essentially since the 6th inning of game 1, it has been all Northwestern at the plate. They have barreled up some great balls. That's another excellent piece of hitting down the right field line, and they lead now by a pair.
At first I wasn't sure. I thought that maybe the third over there, he was going to get tagged or something. Good job by Northwestern.
Gaviria's first pitch to the leadoff hitter, Bianchina, is a strike, as he will step over and have a quick conversation with head coach Ben Greenspan. Greenspan was named head coach just last year, first year for him with the program. Served as the associate head coach and recruiting coordinator at Michigan for 2023, also an assistant coach at Cal Polytechnic, as the 0-1 pitch to Bianchina is fouled back. He spent 7 seasons at Arizona State and 6 seasons at Indiana. So he's had a lot of 2 strikes, swing and a miss. But the home plate official does say he made contact. So he will stay alive at 0-2, does Bianchina. Greenspan was named one of baseball's top assistant coaches to watch by D1 Baseball, known as a big-time recruiter. This ball is hit hard out into center field. Going back on it is Rivera. He will make the play on the run, but a run will come across to score, and now it's a 5-1 ball game on the sacrifice fly from Bianchina. He drives in another run. That is Joshua Ramos, who comes around to score, and Griffin Arnone is down at third. That ball is inside now on the number 2 hitter, the sophomore first baseman Trent Liolis. 0-2 today. Game 2 here. This one is hit up the middle. Peter Vasquez will make a leaping effort to get the out at first, and he does. An outstanding play right there on a slow rolling ball. Vasquez gets in on it, fires it over, and we are out of the inning. But again, Northwestern puts up 3 this time. Their lead now 5-1. It's going to take some BCU bats to steal a win here in the series finale. We'll be right back. You're listening to BCU Baseball on the CatEye Network. Well, the Wildcats have some work to do, down 5-1 in the bottom of the 4th inning to Northwestern, as Jose Gonzalez steps in to lead things off. In the bottom of the 4th here in game 2, he hits this one foul down the left field line. Wind has picked up a little bit, blowing out to dead center field right now. We've seen it blow just about every direction it can here at the Jack today with all the weather, but it looks like we are past the worst of it, which really wasn't too bad, save for a few lightning strikes well away from us. But due to some safety regulations, we took a little bit of a pause to let all that blow over. The 0-1 to Rodriguez is lined into center field. That will be a base hit for Gonzalez, and the Wildcats again putting runners on, have yet to capitalize so far. Just the 1 run, have stranded 3, but off to a good start. Certainly starting the inning the right way as Manny Sufrain will dig in for BCU.
Whoa.
And that pitch is hit high into left field, but Mills is under it. And Gonzalez will retreat back to first. 1 pitch and out for Manny Sufrain. Had a tough start, 4 pitches for him so far. He's got a fly out and a strikeout.
Wind was working in his favor, just didn't get enough pop on it.
Some of that opposite field power there from Sufrain, but not quite enough as Peter Vasquez. He'll take to the plate now with 1 on and 1 out. First pitch to him is a swing and a miss. Try to kind of knife at that one. But behind on the fastball from Kyle Potoff, who has struck out 3, walked 1, allowed the 1 run. 4 hits so far. He throws over to first, checking in on Gonzalez. He dives back. Long look in for Potoff. He delivers, and this one is hit over through the hole at shortstop. And that will be a base hit for Peter Vasquez, as kind of didn't look like Livermore wanted to make that play there. I think he could have potentially made an effort there, but watched that one sail through the hole.
Yeah. First I thought I hit the pitcher because of how he turned around, but gets through that gap. Now you got runners at first and second. Really need to take advantage of this opportunity.
2 on, 1 out. That will bring us to Ramses Cordova. There's another round of bikes, finds their way behind us. He fouls the first pitch he sees back into the grandstands. Cordova so far 0 for 1 tonight. Game 1, he was 1 for 4. Anchoring third base down there for the Wildcats. He fouls this one off. This one will head over towards us. It will get out of play just above my head and kick a fair amount of stuff off the roof of the Turtle's Nest.
Really loud under here when a ball hits the roof of the Turtle's Nest. It's tin, so you hear everything.
Thought that one might sneak its way, maybe bounce up to us, but not quite. As Cordova faces an 0-2 count, the delivery is in the dirt, and a wild pitch will allow the runners to move up for BCU. Gonzalez makes the turn, but does not go any further, as the Wildcats have second and third now with 1 away.
Definitely not what Northwestern needed for themselves. Now you got a second and third due to that wild pitch. As you said, the backstop's real big, so there was a lot of time for those runners to get and move up.
And that ball spent so much time in the air. The catcher couldn't even really corral it. This one is hit over to the third baseman, or right back to the pitcher, and now we have Gonzalez is caught in a rundown. Goes from the catcher over to third, and the tag is applied for the second out of the inning. Vasquez stays put at second. That is over at first. We have Frankie Febles. Excuse me, that was a pinch hitter. I didn't have time to check that one out, but Febles replaced Cordova. Tough for us to tell out here for that angle we have. Febles is a speedster. Been around the program for a handful of years, but either way, he is on via the fielder's choice. The first pitch to Villafanier is taken for a ball.
Very disciplined approach on this at bat, especially compared to the other ones they've had.
Villafanier struck out his first appearance tonight. Pitch to him. Another one in the dirt. Quickly up 2-0. Tough break for the Wildcats once again as Gonzalez is tagged out, trying to go for home. A nice heads-up play by Potoff to get him caught in that rundown. This one is popped straight up over towards the left side of the infield. It will be the third baseman. Make that the shortstop. Oh, no, it was the third baseman who came up with that. That is Bianchina, who retires the side. Yet another promising inning for the Wildcats. Leaves 2 runs stranded, 1 caught on the base paths, and it will remain a 5-1 contest with Northwestern holding on to the lead as we head to the 5th. You're listening to BCU Baseball on the CatEye Network. We'll take a quick break and be right back. Owen McElfatrick, who had the homer in Game 1 today, will lead us off as we are quickly to the top of the 5th in just under an hour of play here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark.
And it's not like there hasn't been any offense either. That's the funniest part. 5 hits for the Wildcats of Northwestern and 6 for Bethune-Cookman.
As the second pitch is chopped over to the third baseman, Cordova fires over to Manny Sufrain at first, and another quick out. A lot of aggressive, like you said, Henson, aggressive approach at the plate for both sides has resulted in a lot of quick innings to this point as we wrap up our 3-game series here. Northwestern looking for a 3-game sweep. That'll bring up Bennett Markinson, the catcher, who takes a ball from Gaviria. Gaviria has only walked 1 thus far, but still struggled a bit with control as that one also sails a bit high for ball 2. Just hasn't quite been able to locate like he did last week when he was named SWAC Pitcher of the Week. That one's a strike, 2-1.
Maybe if you point that out again, you'll get another strike.
This one is another breaking ball on the lower half of the plate for a strike. 2-2 now.
Popped up.
That one is popped up over to the foul territory, that side of third base, and Ramses Cordova is over there to make the play, and quickly 2 outs away. A nice bounce back inning. We said that once before for Gaviria, who worked a quick third, and he has all the makings of the start of a quick 4th.
Or
5th, rather, excuse me. This one is fouled back. That is Jackson Freeman, who is 1 for 2 today. This one is again fouled. It will reach out of play. over into the left field bleachers. And the 0-2. That one is look out over into the Northwestern bullpen. But he's all good, but the grouping at the edge of the dugout here. Ducks for cover. Speaking of the bullpen, there are two arms throwing in the Northwestern pen as a big swing and a miss on a high fastball from Gaviria. Gets the Wildcats out without a base runner. In the fifth, still trailing by 4, 5-1, your Northwestern lead as we head to the bottom half of the fifth inning. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman Baseball on the CatEye Network. Well, with a pair of arms warming in the Northwestern bullpen, Kyle Potoff will stay on the mound as we hit the bottom of the fifth. At Jackie Robinson Ballpark, he's only thrown 53 pitches so far, has allowed 6 hits, struck out 3, walked 1, but just the one earned run allowed. Like we said, it's been very much bend but don't break for Northwestern, as it has been all weekend, but they've kept BCU to just 1 run through the first 4. Leading things off is the leadoff hitter, Daniel Figueroa. He takes a ball. Figueroa 1 for 2 tonight with a strikeout. This one is a big swing and a miss. Even things up at 1-1 now.
Blew that right past him there.
This one is hit hard over to shortstop, but Livermore will make the play over. And a close play at first sees Loyola stretch out for the first out of the inning.
Kind of a bang-bang play. Really wasn't enough time to get to first base. Was close, but just called out. Close but no cigar.
And Garrett Chun will dig in now. He's got a walk and a hit in 2 plate appearances. He has been red hot to start this season, and that has continued into this weekend. He takes a strike on the lower half of the plate with 1 away here in the bottom half of the fifth.
And how he's playing is going to be, that's how you get those big league opportunities. That's how you get to the minor system if you play really well.
And this ball is sent back the other way, out into left, but it holds up for Mills. And once again, another quick start to an inning for the Wildcats.
Yeah, no one's really being patient on either team, which, maybe the coaches had something, they see something in both pitchers where it's like get after them early, but not much patience on either side of the coin here.
Definitely a more aggressive approach this time around than game 1 today. As the number 3 hitter, Sergio Rivera, takes a ball with 2 away in the 5th. This one he smacks out into dead center field, high and deep, but not quite deep enough. As Griffin Arnone is there to make the out. Just not enough behind it. Maybe if he got a little more underneath it, the wind could have helped that one get out, but he also picked the deepest part of the ballpark, 400 feet to dead center. That one probably went 380.
Yep.
And we will head to the 6th inning now with Northwestern still holding on the 5-1 lead. Daniel Gaviria will head back to the mound. We'll be right back. You're watching Bethune-Cookman Baseball on the CatEye Network. Well, we are already in the top of the 6th inning, just over an hour into this one. We started back at 5:30, and at 6:37 p.m., we are in the 6th inning as Daniel Gaviria digs in for his 6th inning of work. His first pitch is ruled a ball to Griffin Mills, who has had a nice night defensively out in left, as he takes second straight ball for ball 2. He is 1 for 2 tonight, getting his first action of the season. Swing and a miss on that one, on the breaking ball down low.
Straight through it. Just a great curve on that breaking ball.
Gaviria, another breaking ball. This one is a strike as well. He has not got a ton of swing and misses tonight, but he has relied on deception to get some swings, as that one is just a bit low. Tried to pitch in the same spot. No offering from Mills there.
Ooh. And that's back outside.
And onto the road. Haven't seen any bikers get hit yet. The cynical side of me might like to see it at some point, but they're doing us no harm. Just a little loud as this one is hit back to the mound. Gaviria gathers, throws over to first. Sufrain stretches out into the base path to make the play. 1 away.
And that's one of the longer at-bats we've seen this game.
Has been a quick one. 2 arms working in the Northwestern bullpen. We have 1 in the Wildcats pen. Not sure who that is from all the way down here. Even with binoculars, we are so far away at the opposite side of the field as the first pitch to Tony Livermore, who is 1 for 1 tonight with a pair of RBIs. Takes a ball. That one is
That's
high for
high.
ball 2.
Almost eye level with the batter. 2-0 count.
A breaking ball this time in the lower half of the zone, and a nice one is in there for a strike. 2-1 the count now. Gaviria working very quickly. Shows bunt, does Livermore, but he will pull it back. It's now Northwestern being a little more patient at the plate. The 3-1 is in there. Full count now. One of the very rare full counts, as we talked about over the break. This game has moved very quickly. Although with these dark clouds looming behind the left field bleachers, it may need to move quicker, as this one is fouled straight back into those bleachers. Tough to tell if they're actually some menacing clouds or if it's just the sun really beginning to set. Another one fouled straight back off the netting.
And you gotta hope, as the right fielder ties his shoe, or shortstop rather, the shift confused me a little bit.
And that ball is high, as Livermore will take a base. A 1-out base runner for Northwestern. Shift was very much in play. Only 1 fielder on the third base side of the field, but it doesn't matter. As Gaviria sees Joshua Ramos dig in. Ramos, I believe. Excuse me, I want to make sure I get that pronunciation right. It is Ramos. He will take a ball. Gaviria checks over on the runner. He will throw over, but back in standing is Livermore.
A very patient approach that Northwestern has picked up here.
Gaviria will again check over, and Livermore, with not a huge lead at first, will just step back in.
But it's not like they need it. A lot of these hit runs, they start basically by the first baseman.
Big swing and a miss. Down to a knee goes Ramos.
Ramos want to send that back to Evanston, Illinois with him, but doesn't get any of the ball.
Another throw over. But it hasn't been small ball in this game that's put Northwestern in front. It's been consistent rallies, consecutive hits. There's been nothing cute about the approach at the plate. They have taken advantage of some missed spots for Gaviria as he delivers the 1-1 swing and a miss. 1-2. 1 on, 1 out, 5-1 lead for Northwestern as we are once again seeing Daniel Gaviria check over at first. He's thrown over 4 times now, and many more times on the night as a whole. Very, very wary of the runner. Runner does not go, but the ball is hit out into right. Figueroa makes the play, and he is doubled up. After all of that, after all the staying by the plate, being patient, Tony Livermore expected that ball to get down, was all the way past the shortstop, and cannot get back to first in time for Figueroa to make the play. Blunder there on the base pass for Northwestern potentially opens the door for the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats to jump back in this one. They still trail 5-1. We head to the bottom of the 6th. You were listening to Bethune-Cookman Baseball on the CatEye Network. Amar Sengeg takes over on the bump for Northwestern as they hold the 5-1 lead. That will spell the end of the night for starter Kyle Potoff, who was solid across 5 innings of work for Northwestern. His final line, before we tell you a little more about Sengeg: 5 innings pitched, 1 run earned on 6 hits with 3 strikeouts and a walk. So let up a fair amount of base runners, but it did not hurt him.
Yep.
As he is in line for the win should things hold where they are. As for Amar Sengeg, he's sophomore righty out of College Station, Texas. Transfer from UT Dallas. So far this season, he has worked 3 innings in the midweeker last week against Illinois State. Pitched 3, allowed 1 run earned on a pair of hits, struck out 3. So Bethune-Cookman will see a new look on the mound, but they did accomplish their goal of getting to the bullpen, which is something we've seen Coach Hernandez preach all season long, much of last season. So we'll see how that game plan works out here as George Rodriguez slaps one through the hole at shortstop, gets by the diving glove of Livermore, and he will lead things off with 1 pitch and a base hit. Sengeg's first pitch he throws is laced back up the middle for a hit. First of the night for Rodriguez.
Yeah, he immediately saw what he wanted and just hits it right to that gap.
Nice piece of hitting there. Is now to be Jose Gonzalez who will take a ball. The Wildcats certainly haven't tried to do too much at the plate. We've seen a lot early in the season, a lot of swinging for the fences, a lot of big uppercut swings, but they've taken what the defense, what the pitching has given them.
Yeah, they've done a great job of that. But part of the reason we're already at the bottom of the 6th is because they kind of went away from that in the first couple of frames.
Little swing happy. Gonzalez faces the 1-1 count now. Sengeg delivers. That one is low and outside. 2-1. That one's a strike, even up to count at 2-2 now. At UT Dallas a season ago, played in 5 games, all out of relief, went 0-1 with a 16.62 ERA. Only pitched 4 innings total, struck out 4 walks, as that one's a ball. Count runs full on Jose Gonzalez.
4 strikeouts in 4 innings is the worst return. That's literally a strikeout per inning.
Well, when it results in a 16 ERA, that's not a great payoff there. As the runner goes, this one is hit high into the gap in center field, but running on, making the play is Arnone, and Rodriguez will be forced to retreat to first base.
And due to that, it starts to make you question, like, logically 16.5 ERA. That's a lot of runs being allowed, and you've seen the Wildcats get a lot of good contact on the ball just to him coming in this game.
Getting some of his first action at the Division I level as Manny Soufrain swings and fouls off the first pitch he sees from the righty. As the sun is all but completely set here at Jackie Robinson, Manny Soufrain takes a ball. That one is outside, 1-1.
A real dramatic sunset here at Jackie Robinson.
As they always are here in Daytona Beach. Beautiful Daytona Beach. Nice cool night. What was a hot, humid day. This one is popped straight up. And it will go foul just behind the netting over by third base. The 1-2 now to Soufrain is high. No offering there from the big lefty. We are knotted at 2-2.
Yep, trying to work the first baseman real hard here. And that's another ball, and that's a full
that
walk.
will give Manny Soufrain a base to put runners on first and second. Rodriguez trots down to second base. Soufrain will take a bag at first, and the Wildcats yet again will put runners in scoring position. 2 runners on, just 1 away. This is the kind of situation that BCU asks for, as Peter Vasquez, another lefty, will take to the plate, trying to make something happen and bring BCU ever closer in the series finale here. First pitch to him, low in the zone, breaking ball is a strike.
He's a much more methodical pitcher than the ones we've seen. He slowed the game down a lot. Very careful with what he does. He throws another ball there.
1-1 the count. Ball trickles away a bit from Markinson, but not enough to advance any runners. So he's able to take a couple steps in front of the plate and gather that one. 1-1 now to Vasquez. Northwestern still with that 5-1 lead as we get to the latter half of the game here. That one is in the dirt, and that one will reach the backstop. Or did it hit Peter Vasquez? It appears that it did, as he is awarded first base, and the bases are jammed now for Frankie Febles.
The pitcher is really, I think the runners, behind him and the lead runner just kind of affects how he pitches. He's been, taking a lot of time to make sure that they don't run off on him. But on that delivery even, he tried to do a little slide delivery, and it messed up his accuracy.
We will have a little bit of a meeting on the mound between the Northwestern Wildcats as they discuss a little bit of a rough start for Sengeg here at the Jack. Frankie Febles will be the batter, a guy who has stuck around. This is his 4th year with the Wildcats. Started here as a freshman in the COVID-shortened 2020 season. The 5th year out of Hialeah. Has endured a lot, seen a lot with his Wildcats program. This is his 3rd appearance of the season, his 2nd at bat of the season. Excuse me, his 3rd after one earlier today. He did reach base in his first time up. First pitch to him is down the middle for a strike. Frankie does have a hit previously and a run scored and an RBI. He did so back in the Stonehill series, as the second pitch to him is in the dirt. Got to be careful not to get too wild, or you may see a run cross for free here, and certainly can't afford the free pass either. Sengeg's pace has picked up a little bit with the bases loaded. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. Nice pitch there from Sengeg to get Frankie down 1-2 now.
Yeah, Sengeg really needs to strike this batter out.
And that one again in the dirt, count even up at 2-2. Last year, Frankie Appeared in 7 games, hit 167, but only got 6 at-bats. He was primarily used as a pinch hitter, particularly early in the season, dealt with some health issues. Big cut and a miss, and Frankie will go down on strikes. 2 away now.
Sengek did a good job there, forcing him to swing at anything and everything he wanted to swing at.
Two outs with 3 runners on. Bases are juiced for Jamie Villafanier, who takes the first pitch for a ball.
It's been a long day for baseball. There's still a solid amount of people out here.
Yeah, many of them have come back from weathering the weather in between games. That one outside. Ball 2 now. Villafanier is going to make Sengeg prove it or face an RBI walk if he's not careful with control here.
Another high pitch. That's a 3-0. And now you do not have the green light here. You need this run.
Absolutely. Villafanier bat on the shoulder all the way. I would imagine 0 for 2 tonight with a strikeout. No reason to offer at this one. Sengeg cannot find the strike zone. That ball is in the dirt. No chance of a swing from Villafanier as the run comes in to score. That is George Rodriguez will trot across, and it is a 5-2 ball game now in the bottom of the 6th. The best offensive opportunity the Wildcats have had thus far, and they've had plenty.
Yep. And now the leading run, what would give the Wildcats the lead, obviously, is now at base.
That will bring us to the top of the order. Daniel Figueroa looking to do some serious damage here. He takes a strike. Sengeg finally finds the zone. Figueroa does not have a homer on the year, if anybody is thinking grand slam. This one he hits high, not very deep out into right. It is a foul ball just beyond the line. That ball may have very well dropped in if it were not across the line, and everybody will head back to their respective positions on the base paths. At Indian Hills Community College last year, Figueroa did have 1 home run, primarily a doubles guy though, 17 of them as he hit .353 with the Warriors. The 0-2, swing and a miss, and Bethune-Cookman will strand 3 runners, make it 8 overall on the night. And there's going to be a lot of frustration over in that Wildcats dugout as they let some more slip away. They do take 1 though. It is 5-2 now. We will turn things over to the 7th. Looks like we may have a new arm on the mound, but we'll introduce him when we come back. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman Baseball on the CatEye Network. Patrick Groark takes over on the mound for the Wildcats, spelling the end of the day. For the starter, Daniel Gaviria, we'll get you his final line in just a second. Before we do that, we'll tell you a little bit about Groark as the 9-hitter Griffin Arnone digs in at the plate. Groark, a senior from Land O'Lakes, Florida, Land O'Lakes High School. His first pitch is a ball. He did play ball in the offseason. Spent some time with the DeLand Suns. Of course, before that, he was another kid out of FSC Jacksonville, as Arnone jumps out 2-0 after another ball from the right-hander. Appeared in 35 games last year with the Blue Wave, started 1. This ball is swung on and missed. Big uppercut swing from Arnone, and it is 2-1. He appeared in 35 games, 7 ERA and 46 innings, walked 31 to 42 strikeouts, just over an 8K per 9 ratio. Another one in the dirt, 3-1. He does hold the single-season record for saves at FSCJ with 11. And, of course, helped his team to a Region 8 championship and a South Atlantic Conference championship. This one is in there for a strike, and he has worked the count full at 3-2. In 4 innings, he struck out 4, allowing just a run with the DeLand Suns in the offseason over 3 appearances. Also played club ball for the Florida Burn, as this one is fouled off. Count will remain 3-2. Breaking ball there, but it is a bit too low as the leadoff hitter Arnone is walked. And we will turn things over to the top of the lineup. And Vince Bianchina, who is 0 for 2 today, does have an RBI, 1 of 5 for Northwestern as they hold on that 5-2 lead. Throw over to first, but Arnone is back in safely. Northwestern, 5 runs on 5 hits so far. Bethune-Cookman just 2 runs on 7 hits. They do have an error. So plenty to talk about for the Wildcats as another throw over. Arnone is back in. Still waiting on the first pitch to Bianchina after 2 throws over from Patrick Groark, who did appear in the midweek contest against Florida. First pitch ball to Bianchina. Groark has made 2 appearances thus far, both of them 2 innings. So he's pitched 4 total. He did go 2 scoreless against Florida, allowed a walk and struck out 1 against one of the most potent lineups in the country. A really strong effort, a lot of composure for Groark up in Gainesville this week. He also appeared against Stonehill, allowed run unearned after 2 walks, 3 strikeouts against the Sky Hawks. As this ball is flared foul back behind the press box. Groark 6'2", 170, lanky right-hander.
Look for a pitch out here.
Nothing going there as the breaking ball is a bit outside. 2-1 to Bianchina. Not been a throw over since those first handful at the beginning to Arnone. This ball is popped up over on the third base side, but it will drift foul off the roof of the home clubhouse. The very green building and a field and a ballpark full of green. At the home of the Daytona Tortugas, who will get their season kick-started in, I believe it's 37 days from now.
Yep.
That ball is another one outside, full count again. Second straight full count for Groark.
Tortugas are a Rays affiliate. Not Rays, Reds.
Reds,
rather.
yes, sir. They are the single-A affiliate of the Cincinnati Reds and a staple of downtown Daytona Beach. If you are local and have not been to a Tortugas game, I highly recommend it. They have a great time. Do minor league baseball right. This ball is hit high out into center field. On the run, Garrett Chun makes the play, and the runner Arnone will have to retreat to first. First out of the inning First out of the outing for Patrick Gork. Starting to get a bit chilly.
Yep.
Out here at the Jack after we started off very balmy this morning. There's a little bit of a conversation between the official positioned at second base and Coach Hernandez. Hard to tell what they're going on. Hernandez pointed to his heel for a moment.
Leg, yeah, area.
Not sure if there was maybe some kind of balk warning. I mean, it's very tough to tell from all the way out here when we feel very disconnected from much of the game. But Trent Lyolis now, as there's a quick throw over. Tried a little deception, did Gork, to get Arnone, but he's still back in, no problem. Lyolis 0 for 3 so far tonight. Another throw over.
And one of these days, the Bethune-Cookman or Northwestern will get an out with one of these pitch outs.
I'm more surprised that we haven't seen one thrown away. With just the amount of times, it seems like you're due eventually, but both sides have done a great job, especially Bethune-Cookman, of avoiding the error, as that ball is low. 1-0 to Trent Lyolis. This ball is bounced over to first base, but foul past the glove of Manny Soufrain. Trent Lyolis, a sophomore out of Newport Beach, California. Big kid, 6'3", 205. Second year with the program. Yet another throw over. Lyolis, the 1-1 count, runner goes. Arnone down to second. He will make it in safely. A nice tag attempt by Villafane, the shortstop, but no luck as Arnone showing the speed, got a great jump on the ball, even with really solid execution there from Rodriguez to Villafane. He will make it down to second.
Yep, the ball was just a bit too low to really allow the catcher to get him in time.
That ball in the lower half of the zone, a breaking ball, is taken for strike 2 to even things up at 2-2 now. Arnone did a lot of playing time as a freshman last year. That breaking ball is in the dirt. Runners cannot advance as Rodriguez is there to corral it. Last year he did have 16 hits in 85 at-bats, appeared in 21 games, started 21 games, I should say. A lot of freshmen making impact just as Lyolis did last year. He will swing through this one for strike 3. That will bring us to the second out of the inning. As Owen McElfatrick will head back to the box with a runner on second and 2 away. Northwestern still with the 5-0 lead, or 5-2 lead rather. This ball is hit hard and high into left center field. Garrett Chun racing on, throws the glove up. It is off the wall. Nobody could track that one down as McElfatrick digs in at second. He drives in the run. Arnone with no problem, no play at the plate. Stand-up double for McElfatrick, the second baseman.
And McElfatrick could have went yard there if he just gets a little bit more of the ball. But a great piece of hitting from him, and really just the defender can't do much of anything about that.
No chance to track that one down, even despite a great run from both Chun and Rivera. The first pitch slapped the other way. This is Bennett Markinson, excuse me. That will not score the run, as I think the ball got to Garrett Chun and left a bit too quickly. So McElfatrick is stuck at third. But a quick single there from Bennett Markinson, and runners are at the corners. Northwestern has already put one in the inning. It is 6-2 now, but they are hunting for more as Jackson Freeman takes the plate. Catcher Rodriguez will come out and go over his signs or the play with Gork. I say signs, but the Wildcats are all universally using PitchCom now, so there are no signs. First pitch in there for a strike, breaking ball right down the middle.
Technology has advanced, man. Got rid of signs, and this football has basically PitchCom now with coordinators able to talk to their quarterbacks.
Ball a bit high, but I think it's a welcome change for baseball specifically. Just one more thing to clutter the game, balloon game times a little bit. One less thing for people to complain about when it comes to the whole stealing signs issue. Ball is fouled back. I think it brings just a more pure game of baseball, though many would argue that sign stealing is part of the game, is kind of that mental part of the game where teams can gain an edge if they are able to pick off the signs from the pitcher, but that's an argument for another day as this one is fouled off by Freeman. He is down 1-2 now.
And a complete shift from the first 5 innings compared to now. A lot more battling in these at-bats, a lot longer at-bats. No one's getting out in the first, 3 pitches of the
1-2, fouled away. Gork has walked one, but for the most part, been in control. Just the hard contact has missed his spots a little bit on the heart of the plate. The 1-2. Runner goes. Ball is popped up. That one will be in play. Will anybody be able to run down and make the catch? They will not, as it bounced off the bullpen mound for the Wildcats. It is a foul ball. Chun, playing pretty far over towards left center, is unable to run on and make that.
just a little too far out in front of everybody involved, but still a foul. So
Jackson Freeman facing a 1-2 count against Patrick Gork. 2 out, runners at the corners for Northwestern. Runner goes once again. This ball is chopped over to Soufrain at first. It is a foul ball, and we will do it again. Freeman 1 for 3 tonight, does have a strikeout. Runner goes once again. This one is hit over to the shift. Vasquez grabs it over to Soufrain, and that will retire the side. But Northwestern grabs one more. They now lead 6-2. Bethune-Cookman will try to see if they can reverse their woes with runners in scoring position. They've stranded 8 already. We'll see what they bring to the plate as we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman Baseball on the CatEye Network. Amar Sengeg remains on the hill after his first inning of relief, in which he allowed 1 run to Bethune-Cookman, scratching across their first of the game. But still work to do as Northwestern grabs that run right back in the top half of the second off of Patrick Grork. And the Wildcats will look to do so as Garrett Chun will be the leadoff batter. With just 9 outs remaining for the Wildcats in an attempt to take a game from Big Ten Northwestern coming in for a weekend series here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. One more non-conference weekend here at the Jack. Next weekend, Maine will come in for 3 at BCU. Sengeg's first pitch to Chun, in there for a strike. Before Maine comes in, of course, the Wildcats will travel to Florida International for a midweek game. That's a 6 o'clock start on Tuesday down in Miami, trying to complete a season sweep of the Panthers, as that one is in there for a ball, 1-1 to Chun. Bethune-Cookman took down Florida International here at the Jack 10-4 in their first midweek contest, and their first high major win on a midweek in quite some time, dating back 2-3 seasons ago. 2-0 or 2-1 now the count to Garrett Chun, who has reached base a couple of times tonight. He takes a ball there. Chun is 1 for 2 tonight with a walk in 3 plate appearances. And then, of course, Maine will come in 7 o'clock first pitch on Friday the 8th, 6 o'clock Saturday the 9th, and a 1 o'clock start on Sunday. This ball is hit hard out down the line in right field. It will hang up just long enough. Losing the hat is Freeman, but he gathers and makes the play.
Now only 8 outs to get a 4-point, come back from this 4-point deficit. Well hit ball, just good defense.
For Northwestern, as we welcome Sergio Rivera to the plate once again, they will take on Louisville for a 3-game series next weekend in Louisville. First pitch to Rivera is a strike on the outside half of the plate. They are set for a 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock Eastern start on Friday as they wrap up non-conference as well. This ball by Rivera is hit down the line in left field. This one will get down extra bases. Rivera rounds first, heads to second. He will get there easily. And here we go again with a runner in scoring position for Bethune-Cookman. They have stranded 8 men so far. Would love to reverse fortunes here. It's going to take more than just one, though, for the Wildcats to erase what is now a 4-run deficit.
And the Northwestern still has chances to bat, so we don't even know how many they could be down by if they get hot in that 8th or 9th inning like they like to do.
They have done that so far. This one is barreled up nicely up the middle, but luckily the Wildcats will avoid the double play as George Rodriguez is retired with a ground out to the shortstop, Livermore. Fortunately there that Rivera was on second and not on first, or we would be double play territory. But the Wildcats remain in the inning here. It is Jose Gonzalez at the plate now. Sergio Rivera takes a few steps off the bag at second, but a ball is fired to Gonzalez, who is 2 for 3 tonight. After taking a breather in Game 1 today, he's picked up where he left off a weekend ago, being named SWAC Player of the Week. After 5 RBIs, 5 hits at Florida Gulf Coast, ASUN perennial contender. 2 balls, no strikes to Gonzalez. Takes another one, 3-0 now. You wonder, after we've seen some aggressive approach from BCU early, if maybe we've settled into something, allow the bullpen to throw some more pitches. May look for the walk here over the green light. And he is taking all the way, leans out of a fastball on the inside half of the plate, and it will be a 3-1 count. That one is low, ball 4. And a 5-pitch walk is worked by Gonzalez. It is 2 on, 2 out. For Bethune-Cookman, as Manny Soufrain will head back out to the plate. Soufrain 0 for tonight. He does have a strikeout. Another guy who got a breather in the opening game of the series, as we will have a meeting on the mound between Ben Greenspan, head coach. We will get a call to the bullpen for Northwestern. That will do it for Amar Sengeg as number 44, Jack Dyke, hustles his way out to the mound. We'll get you some numbers on him momentarily. And I'm sure we'll get a quick chance to talk about all the action going around today in Bethune-Cookman Athletics. Men's and women's basketball both in action. Women took a tough loss to Southern. The men overcame the Jaguars by a score of 67-61. Women took an overtime loss. BCU tennis in action today, fell to College of Charleston. BCU softball had a pair of games, including playing tough. Number 22 in the country, South Carolina. BCU track and field in action as well, but tomorrow it's nothing but golf as head coach Harry Stokes heads up another weekend on the links for Bethune-Cookman golf. We have Jack Dyke, the right-handed graduate student out of San Francisco, California, 6'4", 230. Hits with 3 strikeouts, has allowed a pair of doubles as well. So another very much bend but don't break kind of guy from Northwestern has allowed a lot of base runners. That whip is quite high, but it has not come back to haunt him. His most recent outing, a prime example. In 2 innings, he allowed 5 hits, but got 2 strikeouts, allowed no runs. So it's been kind of a recipe here to set up much of what we've seen from Bethune-Cookman, that is stranding runners. Today we've stranded 8 so far. 2 on right now, facing the new pitcher Dyke. For his last full season of work, 2023, Dyke appeared in 18 1/3 innings, and much like his statistics thus far this season, allowed 18 base runners, 18 hits, I should say, walked 6, struck out 6, not a strikeout guy, did allow 10 runs. As he throws a ball to Suffrain, who would love to put his first hit of the day in play and get the Wildcats ever closer. Down 6-2 here. Big cut and a miss. Hunting for the fences was Suffrain on that one. He comes up empty.
Swung with all of his might there and just got nothing.
For the most part today, the Wildcats have done a good job of taking what the pitching has given them, not trying to get too swing happy there. That one is high. No offering from Suffrain, 2-1. Dyke looks in, looks over at the runner on second, deal. Suffrain high, pop-up. That will careen out of play past the Bethune-Cookman dugout.
A clutch pitch is needed here.
2-2, that ball is low and outside. Count runs full on Manny Suffrain. Suffrain boasting one of the higher on-base percentages thus far on the season for Bethune-Cookman, 381. Or excuse me, 559, that's more like it. That was his slugging percentage, as he will take a walk, his team-leading 12th of the season. Bases are jammed once again, this time for Peter Vasquez, who is 1 for 2 today. Oh, excuse me, no, it is Vasquez. I was correct. Thought I heard a pinch hitter announced over the PA, very far distance from us under the press box. But no, it will be Vasquez with the bases loaded. First pitch to him is hit high and not very deep out into left field. Mills is under it. He makes the play, and the Wildcats strand 3 more, make it 11. On the night, they still trail 6-2. And with just 6 outs to play for Bethune-Cookman, they're facing a bit of a hole.
Yep.
But Northwestern will get a chance to add to that lead as we head to the 8th inning here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Appreciate everybody hanging with us here. We will take a quick break and be right back. You're listening to Bethune-Cookman Baseball on the CatEye Network. As we inch ever closer to the final out of the weekend of our long day doubleheader here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark, it'll be Griffin Mills who will get things started in the 8th for Northwestern, holding on to a 6-2 lead as Patrick Groark returns to the mound. For Bethune-Cookman, the first pitch he throws is a big looping breaking ball, but it bounces to the backstop. Mills is 1 for 3 thus far today. He will take a strike there. Mills came into the contest hitting just .077 in 4 starts, 6 appearances overall, 13 at-bats, had just 1 hit, but he did collect 1 today. That'll help the average.
Yep.
As he takes a ball. This one is hit high and not very deep. It is hung up in the wind, and Rivera is on to make the play in center field. The wind cut that one down a little bit.
Yep. Probably would have got a little bit more carry. I'm not saying it would have left or anything, but definitely would have at least been near the warning track.
Very different kind of night than the day we started. Cool, crisp, windy. As showing bunt is Tony Livermore, and he bunts it foul with 1 away here in the 8th inning. Another foul ball, swing and a miss. The manual scoreboard out in left posted a ball after that first one, although I could have sworn I heard contact from here on the bunt, but we will defer to them. It is a 1-1 count. I'm not sure what happened there. I think Livermore called for time, was not granted, having some words with the home plate official. And maybe we were granted time, as I'm not seeing a change to any of the counts. Either way, that one is flared out into right field. Over into center, Sergio Rivera is there. He makes the play. 2 away now.
Very good job defensively, just getting under that ball, not making it harder than it had to be.
Never take for granted plays like that in the wind for sure. Josh Ramos. He will take the first pitch he sees for a ball, bit outside. That's Patrick Groark, just over the 30 pitch mark. This one, another ball, that one low and outside. Ball 2. Control has definitely been better in this frame, but has done what Wildcats have looked to for success a lot, which is letting the defense, in this case the outfield, do the work, as there's a strike. This between Chun, Rivera, Figueroa, a lot of speed in that outfield. It's kind of been a textbook part of a Jonathan Hernandez roster so far in his tenure, as this one is laced through the hole over at shortstop out into left field. Chun is there to grab it and post it back into the infield, but Ramos will reach with a 2-out single. That'll bring up Griffin Arnone. 1 for 2 tonight with an RBI and a walk. Guy hitting out of the 9-hole is anything but a black hole down there. Had an outstanding weekend here in Daytona Beach. Big swing and a miss there.
Had a lot of break on that. Just couldn't get his bat to it.
Groark has thrown a handful of beautiful curve balls. A lot of vertical movement. He'll go fastball on that one.
Another.
Not sure if we were again granted time, it appears. But Groark followed through on the movement anyway, which you see a lot of pitchers do, especially when time is called late. I'm not sure maybe if this is a strategy by Northwestern to disrupt the flow of Groark. But either way, we return to play with the 0-1 count to Arnone. That one is inside and high. Chased him out a little bit, 1-1. That one's in there at the knees, but called a strike. 1-2 on the 9-hitter Arnone, who, as we've mentioned many times, was just a home run away from the cycle last night. Guy who may find himself higher up in that Northwestern order. Runner goes, throw down to second. Villafane is there. And he
out.
Makes the tag. That is Ramos is gunned down. Outstanding throw there by Rodriguez. Great spot. Villafane and the Wildcats escape the inning with no runs despite the 2-out base hit. Still some work to do for Bethune-Cookman. They trail 6-2 as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Stick with us. We'll be right back. You're listening to BCU Baseball on the CatEye Network. It'll be Frankie Febles to lead things off in the 8th for Bethune-Cookman. Facing reliever Jack Dyke into his 2nd inning of work. Wildcats looking for something. Despite 8 hits, have managed only 2 runs, have stranded 11 men through 8 innings. Similar to what we saw at Florida on Wednesday night. Frankie Febles, big cut and a miss, fouls the ball back to the netting. Wildcats stranded 14 against the 4th-ranked Gators. That one is high for ball 1, and you know, we talked a little bit with Coach Hernandez in the break, and while all the games this weekend and even you could argue Wednesday night with so many stranded runners have kind of appeared close in the box score, swing and a miss there, 1 and 2 to Febles. There's only so much you can continue to tell guys as far as taking away positives. BCU bats need to be better, particularly with runners in scoring position. Febles will take that one high, 2 and 2.
Really needs to get on base here.
Breaking ball low, but too low as the count runs full, 3 and 2.
You only have, at this point, you have 6 more outs until the end of the game. You'd rather get some runs in the 8th so you don't have to do it all in the 9th.
This ball is slapped over, knocked down by the first baseman, Laolis. And Frankie Febles will make it over to first. A tough play there for Laolis. That will be a base hit. Absolutely torch ball from Frankie Febles.
Yep, hit it super hard at the first baseman. Couldn't really get a corral on it. And then it hits off of him awkwardly. It rolls like past the ump behind first base, the first base official, and just makes it a really hard play for him to make defensively.
JV Villafane digs in now. Has an RBI in the night, and Frankie Febles is picked off of first base. And another mistake on the base paths for the Wildcats. It has been that kind of day, particularly here in Game 2. These bases have emptied, and we are back to square one with 1 out. There's a strike, the first pitch to Villafane. Frankie certainly thought he had his hand in, had a bit of complaint, but eventually jogs back to the dugout. Shows bunt, does Villafane, trying to maybe show off the speed a little bit. with the infield playing very deep. Nearly out on the outfield grass is the shortstop and second baseman. Juancel Diaz warms in the pen for Bethune-Cookman. This one slapped right up the middle, and no one can reach it. And Villafane will threaten to go for 2, but he is held up. He will remain at first, but even with now a base runner with 1 out, you can already start to play the what-if game if Frankie Feblis was not tagged out at first.
Yeah, if he probably gets to at least third on that.
And even if not, 2 runners on with nobody out is a lot better than 1 on with 1 out as we turn things over to the top of the order and Daniel Figueroa once again. Takes a ball in there right down the middle for strike 1. Figueroa 1 for 4 today, a pair of strikeouts. Wildcats really trying to horn him in to that leadoff spot. He's shown some flashes this season as he takes that one low. He is the guy that head coach Jonathan Hernandez would love to see take that spot by season's end. The best version of this Wildcats lineup, according to Coach Hernandez, has Figgy at the top. He is hitting just 182 so far. But this one will get down fair into right field. Runner will advance to third is Villafane as Daniel Figueroa continues a strong day today after a hit and an RBI and a walk in the first game. He's collected 2 hits today. And yet again, this game figured to be a 6-3 game. Would Frankie Feblis not have been tagged out at first base? Another potential missed opportunity, but it's not over yet. There is more baseball to play as the hottest hitter in the BCU lineup, Garrett Chun, returns to the plate.
Number 34.
1 for 3 today. With a walk, runner goes. And Figueroa is down to second base easily as Chun takes a ball, and 2 runners in scoring position now. But if Dyke cannot find the strike zone, it's going to be a difficult road from here, though we do have few arms warming in the Northwestern bullpen. Just 1 throwing, several stretching, swing and a miss from Garrett Chun.
Big hack at it, just trying to clear the bases basically with that swing. Just doesn't get anything though.
That ball in the dirt, no offering there from Chun. Ball is kicked back out to Dyke on the mound, so no worry of a run coming in there. Fortunate break for Northwestern. The 2-1 now is smacked up the middle and over the infield. That will score a run. Here comes Figueroa from second. That will score 2. Garrett Chun continues to have a day. He will grab another RBI. That is his 3rd of the day. His 1st and 2nd of the contest. And it is a 6-4 ball game. The Wildcats are not done yet.
You can't count them out, you know. Especially after how that played in that 9th inning.
And now with Sergio Rivera up to the plate, the Northwestern Wildcats are far from done. Rivera, Rodriguez, Gonzalez. That 3-4-5 ever dangerous. Big swing and a miss. Rivera hunting for a big base hit there. And if you're Bethune-Cookman, you just hope that this rally doesn't turn into a lot of what we've seen the rest of today. Close, but no cigar. Garrett Chun takes off, pitches right down the middle for a strike. Chun is tagged out easily at second. He does not beat the throw, and just like that, there are 2 away. And once again, you talk about taking momentum away from the Wildcats. That's a quick way to do it, making it out on the base paths.
Yeah, you don't get rid of the lead runner. Now the tying run is no longer at the plate. He would just be a run to close the deficit, but not close it fully.
Takes a team effort. You appreciate the attempt at small ball there from the Wildcats, but just not what you needed to see with the way that Chun, the last few batters, have hit the ball as Rivera takes a ball to Make it a 1-1 count now. And that'll be a ball, 2-1.
And do you think his batting approach changed? You know, you no longer have that first baseman there. No longer have someone at first base. Really shifts you from going, okay, I need to get this person to at least scoring position with this one out to now I have to get on base.
I think either way, you should probably look base hit, but maybe a little more conservative at the plate will be Rivera now, knowing that his team has only 4 outs to play with in this game. Really would love to take one game from Northwestern after the Wildcats have come so close. They've led in every game until this one. Would love to reverse fortunes we've seen so far. We've got a little bit of a stoppage as we question the count. Manual scoreboard out there, kind of dealing with the same problem as us. A lot of times it's difficult to tell from their angle out there. I believe we have agreed that the count is 1-2. But maybe 2-2 now. And either way, Sergio Rivera is rung up on strikes to not retire the side, as I guess the count was 2-1, which neither live stats or the manual scoreboard had. We had 2-2 on the manual scoreboard. We had
So that was a
1-2 on the
either a 2-1
stats.
count or a 3-1 count. Now we know they have 2 strikes.
I believe the count is full, 3-2. Payoff pitch is in the dirt. A full count it was as Rivera takes his base, and you hope if you're Northwestern and Jack Dyke that maybe the mental side of the game where you think you're out of the inning and escape with the lead still intact leads to a walk, as we will now have the brain power behind the Wildcats offensive attack. Derek Cartaya, Jonathan Hernandez, and Hunter Allen will come together and talk things over with George Rodriguez, who is 1 for 4 tonight. 1 on, 2 outs. 2 runs in, 2 runs behind is Bethune-Cookman. It's important to remember, especially with a guy like Rodriguez, who does have a home run this year. Don't get home run happy. A long ball would tie the game. But again, Dyke has shown the potential to give up the base hit. And if you have the opportunity to just move everybody up, that is more than acceptable at this point in the ballgame. Wind is picked up pretty significantly here, blowing out to left field as the first pitch is in there for a strike from Dyke to Rodriguez. 2 arms in the Northwestern bullpen. They'd like to see Dyke get out of this one and probably bring someone in to close it out as that ball is in the dirt. Peel down to first base, no swing for Rodriguez. And that one is in there right down the middle. 1-2. Rodriguez finds himself down in the count. Will have to stay alive.
Has to swing defensively here. You can't afford to go out with your bat on your shoulder.
He'll keep it on his shoulder there, but no real temptation as another ball finds the dirt. It's 2-2.
A lot of pitchers have been struggling with control and location in these past couple of games.
Dyke deals, smacked up. Shortstop gathers the ball. Livermore goes the short way, and that will retire the side. A hard hit ball from Rodriguez, but a nice diving play by Livermore. Slides over and retires the side. The Wildcats grab 2, but they still trail 2. It is 6-4 as we head to the 9th inning. Will we see Bethune-Cookman erase a weekend of missed opportunities? We'll find out after we take a quick break. You are listening to Bethune-Cookman Baseball on the CatEye Network. New pitcher for Bethune-Cookman is Yoancel Diaz here in the 9th inning as Bethune-Cookman trails 2 to Northwestern in the final game of a 3-game series and the final game of a doubleheader here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Yoancel Diaz, the senior out of Hialeah, Florida, 6 foot 200, has been kind of a bottom arm in the Wildcats bullpen, but has factored in very nicely to start this season. He has been a pretty solid part of the pen. Another guy that did appear this weekend, or this week, I should say, against Florida, has 2 appearances thus far on the season. He appeared once against Stonehill and then Wednesday night at Florida. In 4 2/3 innings, he's allowed 3 runs, all earned on 5 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. I think that line is a little bit deceiving for Diaz, who has really probably thrown the ball as best he has as a Wildcat this season. A big locker room presence is Diaz. Last season, he appeared in 20 games as a junior, finished 1-0 with a 7.85 ERA. But most importantly, we really saw him flash what he can do in the SWAC tournament. Tossed a scoreless inning against Grambling State, striking out 3 in the SWAC tournament last year. Had some success against some big-time programs as well. South Florida only allowed 1 hit in 1 1/3 inning. Pitched an inning out of the bullpen against South Carolina, allowing no hits and no runs. His first pitch to the 9-hitter, Griffin Arnone, is a strike. Low to mid-90s fastball for Diaz. That's his primary pitch. He does go with a breaking ball there down the middle. 0-2 is Arnone, who was our batter last time through, but a blunder on the base paths for Northwestern got the Wildcats out of the inning last time up.
Barely misses there, almost gets him out in 3 pitches. Already you can tell he's kind of locked in on those first 3 pitches he's thrown. None of them have really been bad. Everything's been where he wants them to be.
Breaking ball just a bit high, and the count will go to 2-2. First pitch strike so important for Bethune-Cookman, especially out of the bullpen. Jumping in front as Diaz has. A good recipe for success. Goes fastball there. Still a bit high. Count runs full. Have to put guys like that away when you are up in the count. 0-2. We'll see what Diaz goes for. He does go fastball. That one looked a bit lower, but still high, says the home plate official, and Arnone will take a base to lead things off in the 9th. Much like we saw in Game 1, where the Wildcats were within a run heading into the 9th inning, can't afford to let Northwestern put a few runs on the board and turn a manageable deficit into something that is out of reach. As Vince Bianchina flips the lineup. He smacks one high into left field, but foul past the bullpen of BCU, where a pair of arms get loose in the event that they are needed in extra innings. So you can hear the wind really picking up here at the Jack. It is whipping out to left field now. Thrower to first, but Arnone is back in safely. Wind coming out of the south. Maybe the southeast.
Chilly day here at the Jack now.
After what started off as a really muggy day. Runner does not go, fouled off by Bianchina. 2 strikes, another 0-2 count for Yo-Yo, a prominent member of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee on campus. Does a lot for student athletes as a whole, representing his program, representing teams across campus. As that one high, tried to catch Bianchina swinging, but he does not. No one has yet to offer on the high cheese from Yo-Yo. One-two count, nobody on, or nobody out. Somebody is on. Arnone is checked in on over there by Diaz. He dives back in at first. In his sophomore season with the Wildcats, Diaz was used primarily as a pinch runner as he worked his way back into a full-time bullpen arm. Swing and a miss, fooled him with the off-speed as Bianchina will retreat back to the dugout, but not before Griffin Arnone makes his way down to second base. Nice protection there by Bianchina to get the runner to second, but he goes down on strikes. That'll bring up Trent Liolis, who is 0 for 4 tonight with a strikeout. He will duck out of the way of this one, up at the eyes for a ball. Sophomore first baseman. Appeared in all 9 games, started all 9 games. For the Big Ten's Northwestern, who will stay on the road next weekend, as we mentioned, taking on Louisville. Check swing there. Peel down, and it will be called a swing. And we see Diaz again with the 1-2 count this time. Has done a good job of getting ahead of hitters. See if he can put him away. Check in over at Arnone at second now is unsuccessful.
Field.
Wind really ripping out here now in this Turtle's Nest. We have very little protection from the wind, so if you catch some wind noise, our apologies. A bit limited logistically out here. Try to manage as much as we can. Hard hit ball, but foul over towards the Bethune-Cookman bullpen and off the clubhouse roof. A lot of baseball going on across the SWAC tonight. And today, most teams have wrapped up action. We'll get you a handful of scores before this one is out, as we face a 1-2 count to Trent Liolis, the runner on. Long look in for Yo-Yo. He will check back in at Arnone at second. Florida A&M today defeated Grambling State in a neutral site non-conference game in Atlanta 2-1. Texas Southern takes a 9-1 loss at Kansas. Illinois State overcame Arkansas Pine Bluff 5-0. Grambling State returned the favor to Florida A&M later in the day as part of a doubleheader with a 3-2 win, as this one is waved at and missed by Trent Liolis. Another strikeout for Yoancel Diaz. 2 away. That'll bring up Owen McElfatrick, the second baseman.
He's done a good job since he's come in, Diaz has, of just shutting it down offensively, just putting his pitches in the right place, getting the heading counts, making the hitters uncomfortable.
Certainly looks the part of a better pitcher than, like I suggested, his stat line would show. His fastball has played very nicely. His off-speed has balanced his attack very well. Went from a guy who was really looked on when games got out of reach to somebody the Wildcats have relied on, in part due to some players being unavailable to start this season, but he has really been strong as that ball is in the dirt. Ball one. Elsewhere around the SWAC, Mississippi Valley State beat up on Harris Stowe State University 15-5. Alabama State crushed UMES 17-5. Alabama A&M took a loss to New Orleans 4-2. Jackson State over Alcorn State, another non-conference conference game, so does not count in the conference standing. That's 4-2. That one is a strike. 1-1. A few more for you, and several doubleheaders today. Alabama State in another one, 7-5. They sweep UMES on a doubleheader. And Mississippi Valley State, another 15-run performance, 15-1 over Harris Stowe State. That one is in there, 1-2 count. You can say what you want about Diaz, but he has attacked hitters all night, something that we haven't seen a lot
For either
from
team.
BCU.
BCU and Northwestern, neither team really, both teams have been using a lot of pitchers that are very bend, don't break, gung-ho on getting contact.
That ball is slapped over the infield and out into center field. Rivera coming in on it, cannot make the catch, but a run will score. Arnone will cross home plate. And again, the ninth inning attack has been killer for Northwestern. They jump in front now 7-4 thanks to the RBI single from Owen McElpatrick, another guy who has had a really strong weekend here in Daytona Beach. Bennett Markinson, the catcher now, batting in that cleanup spot with a runner on, 2 outs, 1 run in against Yoancel Diaz, who will throw over to first. Not a bad pickoff attempt there, was in the right spot, but not a massive lead for McElpatrick at first. Decent turnout for what has been a very long day of baseball here at the Jack. That one is in the dirt, and McElpatrick will make it down to second. Will think about heading to third, but he is held up on a wild pitch.
Once again, that backstop comes into play, just gets past the catcher, and there's so much room for the ball to just bounce around that he almost went to third on it, but thinks twice about it.
Pair of arms warming in the Northwestern bullpen. They have accelerated their warm-up. It'll be interesting to see who the Wildcats go with to close out the series. But they've still got an out left at the plate to increase their lead, should they choose to, as that one is taken for ball 3. And for the first time in the outing for Diaz, he has fallen behind. That ball, another one smacked out into center field. Chun coming on, tries to make a dive. It will roll all the way to the wall. Rivera will gather. Another run is in for Northwestern, and Bennett Markinson is down to second with a double.
And the last thing you needed was to let Northwestern extend this lead anymore.
That will do it for Yoancel Diaz. Showed some signs of what he can do out of the pen, but a few consecutive hits for Northwestern will chase him from this ball game, as we will have yet another relief arm for Bethune-Cookman. Like you said it, Henson, it is pretty much the one thing you could not do. Is what was a manageable deficit at 6-4 has ballooned to 8-4, and the Wildcats are not done quite yet. 3 straight 2-out singles after the strikeout. Swinging puts them up even more and in comfortable position. Diaz has his pitch count removed and transferred over to number 27 for Bethune-Cookman. Carlos Hazmin making his first foray on the diamond for Bethune-Cookman. We will get you some numbers on him. Of course, Diaz is responsible for the runner at second, so we cannot quite close the book on his night just yet. We will get you his final line when we have it. Carlos Hazmin, a true freshman out of San Juan, Puerto Rico, and the Puerto Rican Baseball High School Academy. Named the number 74 overall prospect and number 19 right-handed pitching prospect in Puerto Rico, according to Perfect Game. Named to the 2023 Canada/Puerto Rico Region Honorable Mention All-American by Perfect Game. 6'10", 200. Strong-bodied right-hander. Freshman getting some action here. Excuse me, this is his second appearance of the season. Did appear last weekend at Florida Gulf Coast in 1 1/3 innings. He did not allow a run, struck out 1, allowed a hit, as the Wildcats were defeated 10-3. but he will get some work in as the Bikers are still not quite done for the night yet.
Their night is just getting started. Our night's just is winding down here.
As we get ready to head home and unwind after a brutally long day at the ballpark, the Bikers, as you said, Henson, are out on the town on a crisp night. So be safe going home if you are local in Daytona Beach. The first pitch from Hasmin is high. That one to Jackson Freeman, the right fielder, who is 1 for 4 today with a strikeout. That one is swung on and missed. I want to take another chance to send our appreciation to everyone who has stuck with us today through a plethora of technical difficulties, a shift in our broadcasting space, and overall still dealing with what we have to down here with the renovations underway at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. This one is fouled away. You know, it hasn't been the most perfect product to start this season, but we promise things are coming. We hope to shore things up once we get access back to the press box and therefore access to better internet, better positioning for the broadcast booth, and so much more. Hopefully the main series last weekend spells the end of our time down at the concourse and in the Turtle's Nest for the season. We shall see. That one is fouled away. Still 1-2 count to Jackson Freeman. But we have certainly made do down here. I think we've learned a lot about broadcasting and learned about coming through under adverse circumstances, which is very much what the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats face at this point, if I can turn a Colin Cowherd-esque analogy for you.
1-2 count, 2 outs. He really just need him to strike this guy out so they could at least get to hitting as the catcher comes in to have this conversation with Yasmin.
Just probably a little bit to calm him down, the true freshman like we said. And with the runner still on second, there's still very much a big spot, as big as they come for a guy like Hasmin, who's not going to be thrown into the fire exactly right off the rip as a freshman, but a good pressure point to see what he is made of very early on in the season. The 1-2 to Freeman. Long look in by Hasmin. He deals. That one is high. 2-2. That one is hit a long way, but out past the visiting clubhouse. It will be foul. Again, we are back here on Friday, March 8th at 7 p.m. Michael will rejoin us. Michael Trullo will rejoin us on the broadcast. But I am sure you have not heard the last of Henson White. Appreciate you joining me today, Henson, for a pair of games. It's been a long one, but we've soldiered through it. Big swing and a miss.
Big swing and a miss. Exactly what they needed. Get that out. You're down 4 runs. They're going to have to go into this next frame and really just get after it. Be patient at the plate. You can't afford a pop out or a double play or anything silly like that.
We'll get more into what the strategy may be for BCU as Dyke returns to the mound for Northwestern. But before we get to that, we will take a quick break. Heading to the bottom of the 9th with the Wildcats trailing 4 runs now, 8-4. The final game of our doubleheader and of the series here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Bottom of the 9th here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark in the 3rd game of a 3-game series, the 2nd game of our doubleheader today for Bethune-Cookman and Northwestern. Henson, we've been on the wrong end of a pretty frustrating weekend, but what would your message be to the BCU Bats as someone leads off for Bethune-Cookman here in the bottom of the ninth? I will get that for you in a second. But Henson, if you're Coach Hernandez, what are you telling the Bethune-Cookman Bats down 4 here, trying to squeak one by to close out this series?
Well, I'd be telling them be patient. You know, it was working when we were patient, when we allowed them to get into these favorable hitters counts. Don't do anything rash. I would say, unless you have a fastball middle, don't swing at the first pitch.
And Jose Gonzalez does not, but he will take a strike. Not a bad approach there. A lot of times the coaching will be take no matter what to start the at-bat, just so you can get a good look, as this one is popped straight up just past the infield turf, and the second baseman, McElpatrick, will make the play, one away.
And that's the last thing you want. You know, you only made him throw 2 pitches, so you're not tired, you're not getting the pitch count up. You popped out. You didn't put yourself in a good position to really do anything with that ball. So now your teammates only have 2 outs to score 4 runs.
And as Manny Soufrain digs in, the big bat can't really look for the long ball. He'll just have to get on base. He'll take this one high. Patience is key here late in the ball game as Dyke comes into his 3rd inning of work. He's worked 1 1/3 so far, but this is the 3rd different frame he will appear in for Northwestern as Soufrain gets in front 2-0. The righty deals, fouled off, look out over in the Northwestern dugout. That's the 2nd time today that little grouping on the outer edge of the dugout has been forced to run for cover.
A little bit of a maybe sneaky little frustration hit. Goes straight towards the Northwestern bench.
Definitely jumped out in front of it. This is another one high. 3-1 now.
You know, I don't think he has the green light here. I think you take this pitch right here.
I agree with you. I think you have to try to put some runners on here. No sense in trying to force the issue unless you get a great one. And Soufrain does lay off a pitch outside. And a little bit of life here, down 8-4 for Bethune-Cookman.
And a little bit of life in the city of Daytona Beach as you hear the motorcycles go by. It's bike week, of course, down here as well.
Oh, plenty of life. I promise you that. I wish there was a little less of it as Peter Vasquez will dig in with 1 away and 1 out. My ride home, which normally would take about 10 minutes, should probably take about 25 based on how many bikers are out as Vasquez fouls that one. Of course, CatEye Network, you can catch some more action this week before we get to the baseball weekend series. Softball is here for the home opener. There's a cut and a miss. Vasquez down 0-2 here. Softball. Been a tough slate for softball so far. Head coach Laura Watton. But that's all part of the plan for the Wildcats, who really grind out some brutal non-conference schedules. There's a ball inside. 1-2 now, but finally, after many games on the road, 17 straight on the road. The closest they've been home thus far has been this weekend in Orlando. They've also been in Tampa as Peter Vasquez goes down, swinging 2 away.
Vasquez didn't really, I'm assuming his game plan was to try to get on base with a hit there. Didn't take the first 2 pitches, put himself in an 0-2 count. Tried to battle a little bit, but when you're down already, it's very hard to come over that.
No pinch hitter here as Frankie Febles will try to avoid being the last batter of the game for Bethune-Cookman. He takes a strike, go down 1-0. But to finish my thought on softball before we wrap this one up, North Dakota comes to Daytona Beach for a 3 o'clock start on Wednesday, March 6th. There's a ball, 1-1. I'm not sure exactly what our broadcast will look like in the ever-challenging Sunnyland Ballpark from a sports information / athletic communications perspective, but we will get some version of a broadcast up live for you. Ideally, we will have commentators, should we be able to figure out a few things over at Sunnyland. Hope to bring you another exciting season of Bethune-Cookman softball in the home opener this week. 2-1 the count now to Frankie Febles. Big swing and a miss. Was thinking a gapper with that one, but now the Wildcats are down to their final strike.
pretty much is going to swing at whatever unless it's really obviously a ball.
And a nice piece of defensive hitting there from Febles. He will stay alive at 2-2, and we will do it again. Manny Soufrain over at first. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The deficit is 8-4 in the bottom of the 9th. Still work to do for Bethune-Cookman. Can Frankie Febles continue things? He will take a very easy ball at a
Full count.
1 up by the helmet. And the count is full.
As Dyke is going to look for the close here. What do the Wildcats have offensively on this last hit?
And he punches one over to the third baseman. And it is fired over to first, and that will do it. Frankie Febles showing a bit of frustration, but Northwestern gets the better of Bethune-Cookman once again on the weekend. Stay with us for a few minutes. Coach Jonathan Hernandez will join us to wrap up the weekend and give us his thoughts. Certainly some positives to take away, Henson, but at an 0-3 finish on the weekend, plenty of frustration will abound. But let's start with those positives. What do we look at from at least the 2 games today, Henson, that you were here for with us? What do you take away that the Wildcats can bring in, especially as we prepare for Southwestern Athletic Conference play?
Well, the offense, I think, is there. The hitting just has to be more timely. It just has to be more clutch. You know, you have the same similar amounts of hits to Northwestern. It was a 7 hits to 9 hits, but you can't make defensive errors like that, which is part of the reason they got up early was that a little defensive miscue. But it's early in the season. Those things will happen. That's something that'll just get worked on with time and practice. A lot of new faces in this Wildcats team, Bethune-Cookman, of course. And, you know, the starting pitching has been pretty decent. We get to the bullpen, and sometimes we struggle, and we'll get into a good count, or we'll be an out, like 2 outs in, and then all of a sudden we just let hitters get these singles and a single and a walk, and all of a sudden now, you know, a good offense is going to take advantage of that. So that is the positives are the offense is there. Just the hitting needs to be more timely, and the starting pitching has been good to start the season out. It just has to get more consistent all around.
No doubt, 2 solid efforts on the mound to start this weekend. Daniel Gaviria probably took the worst of it today, allowing 5 runs, but 2, well, make it 3 considering Gaviria as well. 3 6-inning appearances. Haven't had anyone particularly blow up and leave the Bethune-Cookman bullpen in the dust, but Bocabello strong again on Friday night. Marcos Gamboa with his best outing of the very, very young season earlier today, and Gaviria at the very least continues to work innings. He goes 6 tonight. He will be saddled with the loss. Allows 5 runs on 5 hits, 4 earned, 2 walks, struck out 2. Out of the bullpen this afternoon, or this evening rather, to round things out, Patrick Rourke worked 2 innings. He allowed a run on 3 hits, walked 1, struck out 1. Yo-Yo Diaz with 2 runs allowed on 2 hits with a walk, 2 strikeouts. Carlos Hazmin wrapped things up with a strikeout on the mound. Final line score for tonight, Northwestern 8 runs on 10 hits with no errors. Bethune-Cookman 4 runs on 12 hits. 1 error, very much like we mentioned earlier in the broadcast. Bend but don't break from Northwestern. I think they showed a lot of willpower this weekend here in Daytona Beach.
Yeah, they did a good job of allowing, when the Wildcats got on base, they didn't panic. They consistently held their ground. As you said, a lot of runners were stranded. So did a good job of pitching in jam situations and pitching in clutch situations with runners on base and in scoring positions. They took advantage of base running miscues as well. Part of the reason a lot of the energy would get sapped out is because, okay, we're getting tagged out at first or third, and they did a good job there.
Absolutely. Some of the stars at the plate for Bethune-Cookman tonight. We had 4 multi-hit contests. Daniel Figueroa figuring things out at the leadoff spot. He had 2 hits, scored a pair of runs, did steal 2 bases as well. Garrett Chun also with a pair of hits, 2 RBIs, a walk. Sergio Rivera, all 1, 2, 3 of the Wildcats record a pair of hits. Rivera with a walk as well. And then Jose Gonzalez also rounding everything out with a pair of hits and a walk as well. The Wildcats, however, strand 12 batters in tonight's contest. That follows up from 9 batters in the first game. With Coach Jonathan Hernandez will join us shortly. We will take a quick pause as he wraps everything up down with the team, and rejoining us momentarily. We will pick things up when he starts to head this way, all the way out to the Turtles' Nest here in right field. But stay tuned. We will hear from Coach in just a few minutes. appreciate any of you who have stuck around here for the last few minutes of the contest here at Bethune-Cookman at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Unfortunately, Coach Hernandez, after a long conversation with his team, still out there. Don't want to keep everybody waiting for too long with a bunch of silence, so we will send everybody home. We appreciate everybody who's hung out this weekend again, enduring some technical challenges for our crew down here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark, but we will make sure to put our best efforts forward, continuing to bring you Bethune-Cookman Baseball in whatever form available until we have full access to all the technology here at the ballpark. So the Wildcats will wrap up the weekend with a 8-4 loss at the hands of Northwestern. They are swept in the series with a Big Ten opponent. A lot of positives to take away as we discussed, but they will reboot, refresh, and reload ahead of another tough midweek contest. The Wildcats will travel to FIU to take on Florida International and try to sweep the season series over the high major program down in Miami, Florida. That game is set for a 6 p.m. first pitch on Tuesday, March 5th. Wrapping things up here at the Jack. For everybody here at Bethune-Cookman Athletics, Brian Harvey down on stats, Henson White, my color man. I am Bryce Hoynoski. Pleasure bringing you Bethune-Cookman Baseball this weekend. Michael Truilla will be back next weekend. We will have the full crew reloaded. Appreciate everybody sticking in. Appreciate your company as we play some baseball early on in the season. We will catch you next weekend. Appreciate everybody sticking through. Have a good night. Be safe for Bike Week, and we will catch you next time on the CatEye Network.